Many Muslims watching the videos never watch the end because they are afraid of what they are reading in these particular passages that I'm giving to them. Guys, I'm doing this because of love for you guys. I'm sacrificing my time, my energy, my sweat, my voice to actually make out these contents, make out these researches for you guys to be able to see these things. One of the things that we're going to see in this video is the fact that Mohammed was actually a sinner, and we're going to be talking about the different passages that you guys are actually obeying, because the Quran tells you guys that you have to obey Muhammad and obey Allah and obey Muhammad. Obey Muhammad is to obey Allah. So if you are obeying Muhammad and your obedience to Muhammad simply means you are obeying Allah according to Quran chapter 4 verse 80. And what if he was committing a sin at that moment and you are obeying Muhammad is to obey Allah? So it means Muhammad may have has committed multiple sins according to Quran chapter 4 verse 48 verse 1 to 2 and Quran chapter 40 verse 55. Let's see the context of these verses. Number one, it says, Quran chapter 48 verse 1 to 2 says, Verily, this particular verse here says, Verily, we have granted thee a manifest victory to Allah that may forgive thee thy faults of the past and those to follow, fulfill his favor to thee and guide thee to the straight way. Quran chapter 40 verse 55 now says, Patiently then persevere, for the promise of Allah is true, and ask forgiveness for thy faults, and celebrate paradise of the Lord in the evening and in the morning. So we have these two verses telling us that Muhammad was actually asking for forgiveness for thy fault, for thy fault. Any fault is actually a sin. Ask for forgiveness for your sins. And then the other verse is saying that he has to, that may Allah may forgive. May Allah may forgive. Allah may forgive. It does not even say that Allah will forgive. That it says Allah may forgive him for thy past and those to follow. So the past sins of Muhammad and the future sins of Muhammad. So if Muslims, they are saying Muhammad was actually the best man, the pattern of conduct, as we have seen in other passages, for example, in Quran chapter 33 verse 21, says that Muhammad is actually the pattern of conduct, and for those who obey Allah, and the best guidance is for Muhammad. And this is the problem. If you are saying that somebody is the pattern of conduct, he's having the best guidance, and that same person is actually a sinner, and that same person is also doing sins, falling into sins and asking for forgiveness for his sins, and then you have to obey him, and the obedience of that person is the same as the obedience to Allah. I don't know if you guys have seen the problem with this verse. The problem is this: if obeying Muhammad, let me just draw it so that it can be very easy for everybody to follow. Let me just draw it this way. If obeying Muhammad is the same as obeying Allah, it means any error he makes and then you're supposed to obey this error, it means automatically you're still obeying Allah. If he does good things, you are obeying these good things, it means you are still obeying Allah. If you are obeying Muhammad's evil things and wrongdoings and sins, you are still obeying Allah, because the obedience of Muhammad equals the obedience of Allah. It does not choose. They are not telling you to choose that, hey, the sins that he has said he has committed, he's asking for forgiveness for his sins. You don't have to do those ones. They are saying the obedience of Muhammad is the same as the obedience of Allah. Let me show you guys another thing in the Bible. For example, in the Bible here we see one thing. What do we see? In the Bible here we see the book of John chapter 5, verse 20 something, verse 21. For just as the Father gives life to those he raised from the dead. So the Son gives life to everyone he wants. In addition, the Father judges no one. Instead, he has given all absolute authority to judge. He has given the Son absolute authority so that everyone will honor the Son just as they honor the Father. Anyone who does not honor the Son is certainly not honoring the Father who sent him. So everybody has to honor the Son as they honor the Father. And what is it? So it means, and what do we find about Jesus Christ? About Jesus Christ, we found out in the other passages that Jesus Christ, one, we saw that Satan could not touch Jesus Christ according to what is written here in Sahih al-Bukhari, book number 54, hadith number 506, that Satan could not 506, right up, that Satan could not touch the devil. He always put his fingers on everybody, but on Jesus Christ he could not. Next thing, we also saw that Jesus Christ actually in heaven, ascended to heaven according to chapter 3 verse 55. And then we also saw that Jesus Christ was able to resurrect people from the dead, chapter 3 verse 49 and chapter 5 verse 110. And finally we saw that Jesus Christ was sinless, chapter 19 verse 19. And Jesus Christ also said in chapter 3 verse 50 that we have to obey Jesus. We have to fear Allah and obey Jesus Christ. But he is sinless. So what does it come to? It boils down to what point? It boils down to the point that if obedience of Muhammad simply means obedience of Allah, as it is written there in that chapter, obedience of Muhammad simply means obedience of Allah, and then we are obeying to the sins of Muhammad, we are still obeying Allah. Meanwhile, for example, for Jesus Christ, according to what is written in the Bible that I just showed you in the Bible, the obedience of Jesus Christ equals to obedience of the Father. Obedience of Jesus Christ equals obedience of Father. Why? Because Jesus Christ is sinless, so as the Father is sinless. Meanwhile, Muhammad is sinful, and the sins of Muhammad you are still obedience. You are obeying also to the sins. So, guys, you know who to choose. The answer is very obvious. If you want to continuously obey the sins of Muhammad, go on. It's your choice. And you are obeying to somebody who was owing black slaves, killing people, and doing all sorts of kind of things. Muhammad was also a sinner. This is the other verses according to the hadith. I never even wanted to touch the hadith. Book number 1, volume 1, book number 12 of Sahih al-Bukhari. And then you can read it. You can just put a pause and read it for yourself. And then we also have other passages here also which are also saying that Muhammad was also a sinner. Here, right here up. At the upper, he asks 77 times a day. Muhammad is asking 77 times a day for the forgiveness of his sins. Just imagine somebody, every 20 minutes, the person is asking for forgiveness of his sins. Every 20 minutes. It means that which volume of sin is the guy doing to be asking for forgiveness of his sins every 20 minutes? So, yeah, give your life to Christ. Give your life to Christ. I beg you. Give your life to Christ. Give your life to Christ. Look at the advices of your prophet.